again. It's that golden time of the afternoon. I just love it. Here we are, the first week of November, and I did say that I would show you how I'm going to use those leaves. So I'm finally feeling up to starting to put my garden beds to rest for the winter time. And I want to actually start by concentrating on the two areas in my lower garden that probably need the most TLC. Two areas that did not perform as well as I would like to have had them perform this year. And I think the reason for that is that last year they were the last beds to get treated and put to rest. And I really was sort of out of a lot of my materials. I was out of compost. I was out of alfalfa pellets. I was out of fertilizer, and I just kind of threw some leaves down on it and forgot it. Not that leaves are bad. Leaves are awesome, and I'm going to use them today as a top mulch. But these particular areas just needed a little bit more of a boost, particularly since that season, the prior season, they had been really super productive. This is the area, the bed that is just on inside the garden gate. Here's the garden gate. Inside the garden gate, and it's about 2 feet to maybe 2.5 feet wide. It's a border bed that was made a couple of years ago. It was my first year with it. The first 2 years that I worked with this garden bed, there were parsnips in it, and I think that they didn't get pulled out until much later. So last year this bed had parsnips for the second year in a row, and it just didn't get tended to in the fall like the other beds. What grew here this year? Well, the marigolds grew well. I had peas growing in here earlier in the season. They did well. And then I had some beans up against the fence, and they did well. But the tomatoes really struggled. And even the arugula that I put in as a fall crop just didn't do much. The very first thing that needs to be done is I've got to pull out all of the old plants. These are gladioli that have come back year after year. They're so pretty. Just gonna chop them off. So that will go into the compost. Marigolds. Notice I'm not pulling these out by the roots. I'm just gonna leave the roots in there to really freshen up and enliven the soil. You know, I have some beans that are growing here, and I'm just tempted to leave them to see whether I get any volunteers. I'm going to pull out any weeds that I happen to see, which are a few. This particular area was not a no-dig area originally. This particular area I had done a little sort of modified double dig on, let's see, now three growing seasons ago. And it did great for the parsnips. It was sort of an afterthought area when I was just building out this garden. So now it's time for it to really it's time to get serious in this area and really make it super productive. Okay, I have here some low-level organic fertilizer. It is a 434 NPK, and I'm just going to sprinkle some of this throughout this bed. Sprinkle it in. There we go with that. Okay, I have here some of my homemade organic compost. Of course it's organic, I made it. And I'm just gonna spread this liberally. I need some compost love. All right, now that I've got this compost down, I'm actually gonna give everything a little rinse off, a little wet down. It's been super dry here, and so I really want this to really start to meld in well, start working with the soil organisms. Right. So we have layered in some fertilizer, some compost. The next thing I'm going to put in here are alfalfa pellets. This is not alfalfa meal, it's alfalfa pellets. Here's what they look like. Alfalfa pellets are super high in nitrogen. It also has a lot of other minerals and elements in it that are really great nutrients. All right, I am putting on a good layer of these, and they are going to break down over the year. Add a lot of powerful punch into this soil. So I want to bring you in a little closer and let you look at the thickness with which I put this alfalfa pellets down. Now we're going to give this a really good wet down. The final layer is the top mulch. And this is just going to be a big thick layer, about 3 inches of good crushed up leaves. Crushed up because the soil, the organisms and worms and things will they'll compost faster and add to the richness of the soil. One more spray down. All right, so with that, we can say good night to this garden bed, and we'll see you in the spring. I do want to just let you know of one little thing I just wanted to talk about today, and that is something else we won't see in the spring, and that is my sister's beautiful dog, Gracie. You've seen Gracie in video snippets here and there. She was a lively dog, full of life and joy and dear crazy. But Gracie suddenly was feeling ill, and she was taken to the vet today and had a big mass that just they couldn't do anything about it. And so, of course, my sister and brother-in-law are totally devastated and to lose such a beautiful dog. Pets are a big part of our family life. I cannot begin to imagine being on this earth without my pets and being surrounded by them. They give us so much, and we really give them very little in return. Well, we feed them and we walk them and we do all of those things, but they don't ask much of us. So we will miss Gracie greatly. I'm so deeply sorry, Ella and Mark, that you had to lose her so suddenly. So she's a good dog, and I know she's not going to suffer anymore. With that, I'll leave you. I hope you're well. Take care. Thanks for watching.